They put together a cold case unit to look into what happened in September of 1982. Now, it was right here on this street that Christina Nelson and Brandy Miller were walking on their way to the grocery store. Law enforcement officials believe they might have gone inside the Lewiston Civic Theater that night. Well, they were never seen alive again. And then behind that helicopter is the fire line where flames are still actively burning. We also spoke with Sheriff Ozzie Knezovich, who told us that just yesterday the school did active shooter training, and that helped the situation from becoming even more tragic. Road closure signs just like this one here are just one way that the city of Lewiston is trying to make sure the drivers stay safe tonight. At the Zion Bank Paint-a-thon, all it takes is a little paint and a little elbow grease to make a difference in this family's life. You can pick up a mask like this one to help protect yourself from some of the symptoms of the smoke, but to make sure it's effective, it should be labeled N95 like this one is here. Just because someone on the internet says they are who they are doesn't mean it's true.
The internet allows people to be whoever they want to be.
The whole side of this car is completely concave. The driver was texting when they crashed. Well, it was time to go. Okay.
Ready?
Yep.
Taser, taser.
Ah! Oh my God!
Just lay down.
The whole process was recorded on the officer's body cam, just as it would be in a real life situation. So once again, here I am preparing myself. Okay. Then from his perspective.
Taser, taser. That was a lot of 2 seconds.
Voters have been going to their designated polling areas with ballots similar to these ones and polls just like this right here to cast their votes. They've installed state-of-the-art cameras that can track you and even zoom in on a person's face. I'm on the Nez Perce County side of the river right by the Southway Bridge. I came to this spot to show you guys something. If you look over my shoulder here, you can see where a lot of logs and debris have stacked up. For reference, this is how long a foot is. This is what it looks like to be 20 feet away. So that's how long your defensible space would need to be. Christina was at this house. Her mom said she couldn't pick her up and told her to walk 5 blocks to this corner where her mom would be watching for her from 2 blocks away up here near her home. But Christina never made it to that corner. She disappeared. A few sparks just like these ones here to get into a field like the one behind me to start a fire, but there's a way that you can help prevent that, keeping a bucket of water near so that when you're done using your firework, all you do is put it in the water. That way, you know it's out.
A message after the tone.
Hello, Mayor Lawrence. This is Kayla calling from KLEW News. I've left you a few voicemails, so they let me act as that bystander. Got my life jacket on and my gloves, about to go pull some people out of this icy water. Once the rescuer gave us the signal, we began to pull. Oh, it's heavy. I can tell you, Lewiston Fire makes it look easy, but it's not. The plaintiffs are claiming that Palillo came to their property, stripped wood off of their barn, and then proceeded to leave the property, later selling that wood on his Facebook. First step to preventing hypothermia is keeping your extremities warm. That includes a nice pair of snow boots for the winter, a pair of gloves to keep your fingers warm, and protecting your ears. Guilty of second-degree murder was the verdict returned by the jury of 1 man and 11 women after just over an hour of deliberating. The day in court began with the state's closing argument.
Why did Mr. O'Rourke kill Dwayne Hettinger? And you got that answer. He didn't like his look.
Prosecuting attorney Ben Nichols played the 911 call for jurors.
Okay. At the moment, you breathing okay? When did this happen? When I called.
Nichols says it was proved in trial that this was a lie.
We know that isn't true. We know that Melvin O'Rourke waited until after Dwayne Hettinger was dead and checked to make sure he was dead before he called.
He concluded with a simple statement.
When Hettinger stood up to leave, he killed him.
O'Rourke's defense attorney Raymond Vic Bottomley says this case is all a matter of perception.
Remember how in the initial interviews everybody was focused on the fact that Mel had fired 2 shots, and the detectives were interviewing him saying you can't claim self-defense if you shot him when he was down. There was no evidence of that.
He says their perception of what happened was wrong, which caused O'Rourke to become confused.
Mel's perceptions were wrong from the start. The officer's perceptions were wrong from the start.
After closing, the jurors were sent to deliberate. And in just over an hour, they had reached a verdict.
We, the jury, find the defendant, Melvin R. O'Rourke, guilty of the crime of murder in the second degree as charged.
He was cuffed and led out of the courtroom with a smile on his face. I did speak briefly with the brother of Melvin O'Rourke, and he said he was not surprised by the guilty verdict. Reporting in Lewiston County, Kaila Lafferty, KLEW News. Terry Parsons loves cars.
I built cars all my life.
He loves them so much so that he used to own a racetrack.
I got run over by 3 race cars.
He lost his leg as a result of the accident, but his passion never wavered.
Gas, brake, gas, brake, gas, brake.
Last week, Terry was driving on the Blue Bridge.
When I seen the Subaru coming up behind me, I could not turn to the left because there was a gold Toyota or Honda there.
A black early model Subaru Sidekick rear-ended him, destroying the frame of his car.
Knocked my box loose.
And then took off. At first, he was shocked.
An hour later, it hit me. I could not move my head. I had a terrific headache. My back is messed up.
And his insurance won't cover the damage.
It don't look like much. But if I need to go someplace in a quick hurry, it's always dependable.
But what happened to Terry, it turns out, isn't that uncommon.
So far this year, we've had 55 hit-and-run accidents reported to the Lewiston Police Department.
That is almost one every day since the 1st of January. These accidents vary in damage and severity.
Minor parking lot accidents to accidents on the roadway.
Lieutenant Jeff Clone says fleeing the scene of an accident makes the situation worse for both parties.
And even if you aren't supposed to be driving or you don't have insurance, the consequences for sticking around and maybe getting a minor ticket is much better than the consequences of when you're found, you're looking at potentially going to jail.
And as for Terry, he hopes the person responsible comes forward.
I wish people would slow down and have a little consideration for each other.